It still says ready. Oh, and then it went to live. Okay, so that's interesting. There's a little delay. It goes live, then it goes ready, then it goes live. I thought I had to restart it each time it did that, or just give it the command to go live again, but evidently not. Okay, so let me get in here. I'm sorry that I'm late. This is an emergency broadcast. I wasn't planning on doing a broadcast today, but this is a special broadcast, and there were some issues that needed to be addressed. And it goes live. Okay, so there we go. Andrew's in the house. Absolutely, and David's in the house. So we are starting a little bit late. I just scheduled this like 10 minutes before the hour. I just created the event, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to be ready by 5 because I had all my cameras disconnected. I had to hook all my cameras back up, and then I had to get this shot lined up. And this is an important shot because we're going to talk about an issue, and an issue that a viewer brought up. And let me just pause this. Let's see, I'll freeze it right there. Okay, so I freeze it right there. And so here's the thing about these watches. He brought up an issue with alignment with the hour hand and the minute hand. Now you can see there, based on this camera angle, it looks like my second hand is straight up, and the minute hand is not quite on the hash mark. The minute hand is just a hair ahead of the hash mark. And depending on the angle I look at the watch, sometimes I see that and sometimes I don't. I tried to get them in sync as best I could. That you sync yourself. The second hand to the minute hand, you sync yourself. But the minute hand to the hour hand, that's up to the watch, and the 24-hour hand as well. So his watch, he's having an issue with those lining up completely perfectly. So that is one of the topics of discussion, is quality control on watches. How perfect are they? How perfect should they be? What should we expect? There have been a lot of videos on YouTube about little flaws with Rolexes, and there were even people that said that you can tell a fake Rolex because if there's a little flaw, that means it's not a real Rolex. Well, that's been debunked many times because a lot of real Rolexes have little flaws. Usually nothing major, because if it's major, their quality control would catch it, or their AD would catch it, or ultimately the buyer would probably catch it and get it fixed. But little minor things that aren't quite right. The Just Bluefish channel, he's done some videos talking about this, and other YouTubers have done videos talking about it. I mean, it's well known that there are little flaws on even higher end watches. So what flaws should be dealt with and repaired and addressed by either the AD or the manufacturer, and what little flaws are just so nitpickingly small that they should go. And here's the thing, the viewer was told by, I don't know if it was the AD that told him this or if the watch was sent to Grand Seiko and they told him, but his was a Grand Seiko, and they told him that it was within specs, the alignment situation. And I'm not going to show the photos that he sent me because they're not that great of photos, and also photos can be misleading depending on the camera angle and so forth. Like, we'll go back to this shot here. Right there, it looks like the second hand is lining up just to the right of those hash marks. Okay, you notice this as it goes around. The second hand is just to the right of the hash mark, right? All right, let's let it keep going around and watch what happens here as we keep watching this second hand. Okay, it looks like to me right there it's getting, so it's still a little bit to the right. Now it's close to on. Now it's closer to on. Now it's just about right on the hash mark. There it's hitting like right on. Now it's a little bit to the other side of the hash mark. Okay? Now that's the camera angle. In real life, it's hitting the hash mark every single time. But depending on the side that it's on here, you're noticing it's hitting the opposite side of that hash mark, and in some cases, for a few seconds there, it was hitting spot on it, okay? So the camera can absolutely trick you. And the other thing is, as far as the minute hand and the hour hand, because they're stacked, because the minute hand is closer to the camera, any slight angle that photograph is off can make it look like the hand is one direction or the other. Very easily. It can very easily throw that off. It's almost impossible to get the photo exactly straight on so that you're seeing exactly what the human eyes would see. Okay, and trust me, I've played with this a lot. It's not, and also a lot of camera lenses have some distortion, so that even if you get it just right, there's some distortion in the actual lens, so it isn't going to be right. Andrew in the house looks good to me. I class these things as nicer problems to have. Vegas, you're spot on. Okay. Wait, what did Vegas say? Okay, Vegas. Oh, class things is nicer problem. Okay, there you go. Spot on. Hi, Greg. Good. Sorry to miss you both last week. Oh, is Greg here? If Greg's in here, we're supposed to be giving him yeah, Greg, is this the real Greg? I want to issue a wrench to Greg, but how would we know if this is the real Greg and not potentially somebody pretending to be Greg? What kind of inside information could Greg put in the chat to confirm that it's actually him? Somebody already let the cat out of the bag about his wife, so he can't use that. Oh, maybe one of the watches that he just bought recently. Maybe he could tell us what watch he bought recently, or watches. Maybe that would be inside information. Kind of, but he's kind of shared that before. This is very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. I heard a case of a GS quartz that was 25% off all the way around. GS said it was within spec. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't want that. Here's the thing. You really, if you really are concerned about this issue, examine the watch very closely before you hand over your hard-earned money. That would be my recommendation. If you've got to buy it remote from somebody, let's say you don't have an AD anywhere near you, buy it from a reputable AD and get in writing that you can return the watch if it doesn't meet your expectations, and return it with all the stickers on it, everything, right? Just examine it. If it doesn't meet your requirements, then return it. Just get that in writing in advance. That's the way I would handle it. Craig's perfect watch for heavy use. I'm wearing it now. There you go. All right, that's an insider's comment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and issue a wrench to Greg. Greg Good. There we go. He's got a wrench headed his way. So, yeah, I mean, I think that sometimes you can take it to the extreme, but I'll tell you, if that second hand on a 9F, if it wasn't hitting the hash marks, I don't think I'd be happy with that. I don't think I would have bought the watch. I'll put it this way. This watch, when I went and examined it, if that second hand wasn't hitting the hash marks, and again, in this view right now, it's not hitting the hash marks, but in real life, it's hitting the hash marks, trust me. If that was not hitting the hash marks when I examined the watch initially, I would have told Steve, I'll just wait for another one. I mean, because that, to me, that is important. Now, the hour hand and the minute hand being an absolute sync, I've examined it on several on-the-hour situations. I examined it at 10 o'clock p.m. last night. I examined it at 11 o'clock p.m. last night. And I examined it literally with a magnifying glass, a big magnifying glass that I have. And as far as I could tell, it was almost impossible to excuse me, to determine if it was right at the center of the hourly mark, when the minute hand was straight up at high noon marker, right? If that hour hand was right in the middle of the hash mark. It looked like to me like it was, but it was extremely hard to tell if it was maybe a hair off either way. It was so close that I couldn't make a determination. So therefore, I'm like happy, right? If in other words, if I could not definitively say, okay, it's off significantly, then that's good enough for me. And so this particular watch that we're looking at on screen right now, it definitely meets my expectations as far as quality. Now, if something else was going wrong with it, if one of the indices was crooked or there was some clear flaw, yeah, I don't think I'd be a happy camper at this price point. I don't think I would be a happy camper. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Where would you draw the line on a flaw in the watch? Where would you draw the line? I'm OCD about alignment too, Craig. There you go. Now, alignment with regards to the second hand, Greg, or also the hour and minute hand being an exact sync? And have you checked that on your watches to see how incorrect sync they are? Clive is rethinking his tolerance of the trolls. Just let the wrench gang whack them. I will be shocked if he starts banning the trolls, because he'll lose half his audience. And he very much likes to have a big audience. So I would be shocked if he gets rid of his trolls. He would literally lose half his audience. Let's see here. I'm going to refresh this just to make sure that I got the latest action going on here. Trolls. There you go. Okay. So Clive is a good guy, but play with wolves. Don't cry when you get bit. Does he really care? I mean, I thought he kind of liked the trolls. That's the impression that I got. Is he really starting to care about the trolls? That's news. It's very interesting. Both mine do well. There's a trick to aligning the second. I even checked with Joe Kirk. Okay, what's that trick? Because it took me a couple of tries to get mine spot on, and I got it spot on the second based on the nuclear clock. Well, let me get the clock up here. See if I can atomic clock. Let me see if I can pull that up again. And let's see how we're doing here on the atomic clock. I was a second fast, and then I put it out and pushed it back in real quick, and I got it right on sync, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the time up here side by side with the atomic clock, and we're going to say this one here. Okay, so there's the atomic clock, and let's see, we're going 39:40. Let's see, it looks like it's spot on to me. You guys tell me what you think. 50. It looks pretty much spot on with the atomic clock. So that's what I did, and I got it in sync as far as the second hand and the minute hand are either in absolute sync or just so close that I couldn't tell. Both types of alignment. Greg, good in the house. He wants it all. It's one of the reasons why we buy a Grand Seiko, is to get it all. Shut this channel down, Craig. I'm thinking about that. How did you know I was considering shutting down the channel? You got to stop when you're at the top. When you're at the top of your game, just like Michael Jordan, right? You got to quit when you're at the top. Let's see. He just released a video questioning censorship before retracting all his video before retracting all his. I don't understand what you're saying there. He posted a video today about the trolls and maybe shutting them down. Whoa, jeez. Where are they going to go? If he and Archie don't embrace them, where are they going to go? Hope he's okay. Who's okay? Clivester? I would guess Clivester's okay. Clive can come on this channel. I know I'm not welcome on his channel, but he can come on this channel anytime. He can't use the profanity, but he could come on here. We'd welcome him. Now, if he starts trolling in the chat, the Wrench Gang will take care of him for sure. I mean, the Wrench Gang, they don't play favorites. Just came in is the second hand misaligned. Martin Luther. No, my second hand is perfect, and one of the reasons that I'm demonstrating this is as you see it go around there, sometimes it's pointing right at the hash mark, and like right now it's to the right of the hash mark, right? It depends on the camera angle. And so if you see a picture of a watch on the internet claiming that something is misaligned or whatever, remember that angle of the camera shot will absolutely affect that. As it goes around here, you're going to see there are times when it's pointed right at the hash mark, like right there, it's getting pretty close. See there? Now, as it goes around, it's going to be on the other side of the hash mark. Okay? That's all the camera angle and or distortion in the lens. So the only way you can determine for sure if there's a problem is to look at them in real life, not from a camera angle. Just saying. And I tried to explain that to the gentleman that was sending me the pictures and complaining, and he was sending me some pictures that he got off the internet and so on, and pictures that he took himself. And like, the pictures won't tell the story, guy. It really won't. Retracting videos, removed. So he's actually pulling videos down? Archived videos? That's interesting. The trick is to back it in with the second hand hacked to the 12. Okay, let's get this straight. The second hand hacked to the 12. Set the minute hand a few seconds ahead. Then slowly roll it back to the index. This allows for more precise setting. So you're trying to make up for that little bit of play that's in it. Yeah, I get you. Yeah, that's kind of how I do it. No watch is perfect. They all have a little bit of play in the gear train there. So, and you might have to try it once or twice. You might not get it right the first time. Clive closed his channel. What a loss to the watch community. I mean it. No, I don't think he closed his channel. They were saying that I should close my channel, not Clive closing his channel. I'm considering closing my channel down. I said that I want to retire at the top. I want to quit at the top of my game. Just like Michael Jordan did, right? So there you go. I don't want to hang around and become totally irrelevant. Let's see here. With quartz watches, I've heard that the less well-aligned pieces end up at internet dealers, not at stores. That would make sense. Sell them out the back door. I hear you. The GS GMT9F was my best buy in years. There you go. The Netherlands. Play, yes, Craig. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Craig. Let's see here. That's surprising about Clivers. Thought he was stepping it up with exercise equipment in the background instead of unmade bed. Wait a minute now. Are you guys trolling me? What's the truth about Clivester? What has he actually really done? You know, come on now. I don't think he shut down his channel. I mean, he was doing videos almost multiple times a day, for gosh sakes. It was his whole thing. I mean, I think he should up his production quality. I think he should get some good lighting, some good cameras, some good audio. I mean, I sometimes have train wrecks here with my audio, but I try my best to try to get it, you know, as good as I can. Live streaming is always tricky. But I think that's what he should do, just up his production quality a little bit and keep doing shows. He's an entertaining guy. He's a smart guy. Let's see here. You misread, Craig. The comment was close his channel, not this channel. He was going to close... Wait, he's going to close his channel? Did he say that? I'm trying to get clarity on this. I am considering closing my channel. I already commented on that earlier. I'm considering shutting mine down, but I didn't think that Clivester was considering shutting his down. So, let's see here. Clive was wristwatch filler. He removed all his videos. At first, I thought he banned me. The play in the hand movement, better to back the minute hand to index. Gotcha. Now, since you've been doing it that way, Greg, do you have 100% success rate, or do you sometimes have to do it twice? Once you set it and then it goes around a full minute and all, you're happy. It's all you're always hitting it right on the mark. Is that 100% success rate? I guess is what I'm asking. Andrew in the house says, "Go to his channel, Craig. No videos there." I'll take your word for it. Now the trolls can go to Archie. He's gone for now. I guess Milgauss. Craig, Clive has removed all videos, nothing left on his channel. Whoa. Maybe he made them private for a while and he'll put them back. That's a shame to take time and effort and work and create some content and then delete it. Well, if you're not proud of your content, then you got to delete it. Absolutely. Maybe he decided that he wasn't proud of that type of content. That's a shame to put that work and time and effort in and then do that. The troll's home base is the Archie channel. Craig, good question. I still have to align the hands several times. Okay, so it's still not 100%. I hear you, Greg. Yeah. The good thing about the 9F is you don't have to do it very often. They're so accurate. You have to do it with the GMT function. I don't know. I may never have to do it. Because you can move the hour hand at daylight savings time in spring and fall. You can move the hour hand just 1 hour, and of course on months that have less than 31 days, again you can use the GMT hand to change the date. You don't have to mess with the time synchronization. It could literally be years before I have to recalibrate this watch that you're looking at right now. It could literally be years. Because from what I understand, they're a lot more accurate than Seiko promises. Seiko promises 10 seconds a year, but I've heard people say that theirs are like within a second or two after a year. Can you imagine? Can you imagine how good a Grand Seiko is? Talk about perfection. Yeah, I expect very close to perfection from a Grand Seiko. I wouldn't buy the watch. If I examine the watch, I'm going to come right out and say it right now. If I examined the watch at the AD, and I had my magnifying glass and everything, and I took my time and I really examined the watch, and I found a noticeable flaw, I would ask them to get me another copy of the watch. I would wait. I would take a powder and I would wait. Let me know in the chat what you guys would do. What would you guys do in that situation? Archie has his place. That's for fun. He has zero seriousness. He's a character. This channel, we're 100% serious all the time. If you believe that one. Yeah, the independent hour hand is great. Greg Good in the house making the comment, making the good comment. It's just half a second short of the atomic clock. So you think mine is a little bit off. Let's get the atomic clock in here again. You guys let me know in the chat what you guys think. How close is it to the atomic clock? And if it's off, is it slow or fast? Is the Grand Seiko behind the atomic clock, or is it ahead of the atomic clock? I bet regular Seiko is just as good. There's the B-Tube in the house saying go with the regular Seiko. Maybe Clive should have gone by an alias the whole time. I'm pretty snarky myself, but some of these guys in the watch world are psychos. I think he did use a fake name. I don't think his YouTube channel was under his real name. Anyway, let's see. Grand Seiko and Seiko Astron definitely would expect perfect quality. Okay, Chris. Seiko makes some nice higher end regular Seikos in the $800 to $1,200 range. There you go. Absolutely, they do. I love my SB. What was it? SBDC 007, my Shogun. Of course, it wasn't that accurate. It was slow. That's the reason I got rid of it, was it ran slow. Let's see here. Microsecond ahead. Okay, Martin Luther says a microsecond. Okay, so a tenth of a second? Give me a fraction so that I can understand what you mean. Bob, on for my money. So you think it's straight on? Vegas? Please don't shut this channel down, Craig. We all love it. Andrew loves the channel. Andrew wants to keep the channel going. 0.5 seconds ahead we've got in here. We got 0.5 seconds ahead. Craig, Steve sent me a very kind email today. What a gentleman. Are Wags in the house? Absolutely. Yeah. Steve's a good guy. Our Wags, can you come on, join us via Skype? We can talk about Bitcoin for a minute. We'll talk about Bitcoin. Let's see. I would order another copy too. I take a loop to the AD. Greg Good in the house. He's rolling with a 10x loop. Is it a 10x loop, I'm guessing? Remember that snowflake photo on What You Seek of the corroded minute hand? You know, I've heard about that issue, and that is one thing that does concern me a little bit with the Grand Seikos, is why they don't do like Rolex and just use white gold, or like in the case of the diver, it's platinum. Platinum is never going to tarnish. These hands are platinum, right? Now the minute markers, the surrounds on the hash marks for the 5-minute markers, I don't think they're a precious metal. I think they're plated brass or something. I'm not sure exactly what they are, but I don't think they're white gold, for example. So that is one thing that I think that Grand Seiko could up their game on. Although I do think it is rare to have that problem, corrosion on the hands or the dial in this day and age, especially all the ones with screw-down crowns. But a lot of them don't have screw-down crowns. I think it'd be cool if they upped their game on that a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of the sword hands anyway. I've said that many times. Now, they do look gorgeous. On this watch here, it does look gorgeous. When you turn your wrist and they catch the light and all that, I mean, maybe it's hard for them to get a white gold to look that good. I don't know. I don't know why they wouldn't use white gold. But that's something. That's something. Of course, prices would probably have to be a little bit higher, but I don't think that much higher. Keep up the show. A lot of nice guys here. Good guys hang out here, that's for sure. Jeff's in the house. Perfect example. Jeff Klein. My Seiko SARB 033 was 7 seconds fast from one Saturday to the next Saturday with the atomic clock. I hear you. Fast is better than slow, though. At least you can hack it and restart it, and you don't have to resync everything. Any automatic that runs below 10 seconds per day is still good. I think GS made good on the corrosion issue. Well, they sure should. Let's see here. One thing, Grand Seiko is better than 10 regular Seikos, in my opinion. Okay, there you go. If you want super accurate Seiko Astron or GS Spring Drive. GS Spring Drive rules. I mean, this puppy here is amazing. Amazing. Okay, let's cut off the side-by-side for now. Let's see here. So with the spring drive, do you have to wind it or does it work the same as an automatic? Some of them are automatic. Mine is automatic. They do make some that are manual wind, a few models. So it depends on the model that you get. And they're very efficient, the winding. They don't require a ton of wrist time. If you're fairly active, it'll wind up in like 4 or 5 hours, completely. Much better than a Rolex. A Rolex will take all day if it's dead and you wear it, in my opinion. R. Wags, Craig, I'm in the car going to a meeting, maybe later in the week. I'm a Bitcoin bull currently. Could change in the future, but not now. R. Wags, I think we're looking at a pullback here coming soon. I think we could be looking at a pullback. Okay, let me look and see what's going on right now with Bitcoin. Right now with Bitcoin, we're at $7,815. And that's a 15-minute candle there. Let's go to the 1-hour candle. Doesn't look that much different. So we're at $7,815, $7,814 right now. 15 again, 7,815. Changing a little bit right there. I think we could be looking at a pullback. There are folks that are saying we're going to hit 9,000 before we get a pullback. It's very hard to call the top. Very, very hard to call the top. But I think we're going to get a significant pullback and then maybe go up from there. I don't think we're going to go parabolic up to over $20,000, just a straight run up. I think we're going to get a major pullback. This is not financial advice, folks, but I think that's what's going to happen. We will see. Let's see. Same as normal auto. Yes, Chris, but they're a little bit more efficient than a normal automatic, in my opinion. They don't require quite as much wrist action to wind up. You can still find vintage workhorse Grand Seikos for sale online. Shows you how well they are made. Yes, but I think the newer ones I think they've stepped up their overall quality, just like Rolex has over the years. I think, especially from 2017 and newer, with the new dials and everything, I think they're really focusing on stepping up their game even more. I wish they would do some of the things we've talked about on the channel. There's some things they could do. I think all these watches, including this one, should have micro adjustments. I think there's no reason why they can't come up with a clasp that has 4 micro adjustments. I just think any watch with a bracelet should have that. And they should be able to make it trim enough that it'll work. So there's some things that they could do. Let's see here. I have a Seiko Monster for pool, shower, and the beach. In case the seals, gaskets fail, it's not too much of a loss. Yeah, I hear you. I'll tell you though, I've never worried about it. I've always worn all my Rolexes and everything in any kind of condition. That's what I bought them for. I wore them. I never really had any failures like that. I did have one Rolex that was water damaged, but I bought it that way. And I knew it was water damaged when I bought it, and I got a real deal on it. I took it to New York, and they serviced it, and it turned out great. But I've never had one that I personally own, that I personally bought new, that I've had any water damage with at all. And I have not hesitated to take them in the water. Even when they're like 6 or 7 years old and never been serviced, never been pressure tested or anything, I'd go right in the water with them. I wouldn't care. Let's see, Milgauss. I have OCD when people post pics of their collections and none of the watches are set to the correct time or date. Yeah, but it's hard to keep them all set. That's why I don't like having a ton of watches. It's hard enough for me to keep 2 or 3 of them running right. Warren Snook says, hi, Vegas. Congrats, Chip. Your Bitcoin seems to have hiked up quite a bit. I've got a big smile on my face. I got like a Joker smile, right? Yeah, anytime Bitcoin's over $5,000, Craig's a happy camper. Woo! I never thought it would get this high this fast. We were predicting 5,000 a few years ago. Adam Meister and I, the Bitcoin Meister, were talking on this channel, and we were wondering if it would hit 5,000 by 2020, by the 2020 halving, which is a year from now. We were wondering if it would hit 5,000 by then. So we're way ahead of what we expected. Way ahead. Let's see here. On the Coinbase site, what is Bitcoin Cash BCH currently? Let me see here. I don't like to track BCH because I think it's a scam, but BCH is 375 right now. It's showing it at 375. I would just as soon it go to 0. I hope you're not holding BCH. So yeah, I don't think that's the way to go. I don't believe in any of the altcoins personally. I would not hold any of the altcoins, and that's just simply another altcoin. There's no reason for them. They're not robust. They've got issues. So I would skip the whole deal on the altcoins. Let's see here. Would you buy any Swiss-made watches in the future, Craig? I don't know. A day-date is certainly a possibility. A Rolex day-date. I think it's the best money for an all-gold with gold bracelet watch. I don't think you can beat it with a stick. But I don't know if I can go back and leave the accuracy of my GSs. I don't know if I can go back. I would say it's a 50-50 chance. A year ago, I would have given it a 75 or 80% chance. And we're down to about a 50-50 chance right now. I said a while back when Bitcoin hits 100,000 that I'll sell half a Bitcoin and buy a day-date 40. But I don't know if I'm going to do that now. I might do it just for fun. Spend a half a Bitcoin. I'll sell one of the Bitcoin that I paid $30 for. So basically, the day-date 40 will cost me $15. That's pretty funny. That is funny. $15 day-date 40. Let's see. The financial advice disclaimer is hilarious. Reminds me when Alex Jones says, I want to destroy them, metaphorically speaking. Yeah. Warren Snook, how are you, sir? Enjoying the high beat. Diver. My guess is he is. I agree. Any watch bracelet should have micro adjustment or tiny half links. One reason I sold my Snowflake. Yeah. Here's the other thought process on that, though, Greg. And I'm thinking, I mean, obviously this is not an ideal solution, but this is a workaround. if you have multiple watches, then on that day that your wrist is swollen or whatever's going on, that let's say this watch here, for example, let's say I've got it set for most of the time it's comfortable on my wrist. But let's say it's a particularly hot and humid day and it's too tight, or it's a particularly cold day and it's a little bit too loose. That day, I can always wear something else, right? So obviously that's not an ideal situation, but that is an option for those of us that have more than one watch, right? And this watch is very easily adjustable, with the extension bracelet and everything. So the only way to get around that is to have a backup watch. I mean, and that's very sad, because here's the thing. I can't adjust this watch. I can tell you right now, I cannot take the links out and put new links in. I looked at those tiny freaking screws, and I can just see myself marring those things up and just really doing a number on it if I wanted to try to change out a link. So if I wanted to change out a link on that watch right there, I'd go see Steve. I mean, and that's sad. But it's true. Sad but true. That's the way it is. I'm not going to adjust that bracelet on that thing. I could more easily adjust it if it had the pins and sleeves. The pins and pipes, as Seiko calls them. I actually like that system, to tell you the truth. Everybody bitches and says, oh, it doesn't have the screws. I can't get these screws. I can't. They're too damn small. I've got micro screwdrivers. I could take the screws out on my date 8. The screws were bigger, easier to get to, easier to do. No. I'm not messing with those screws. So there's that deal. David Williams in the house. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Okay, so Warren says, hi, Thomas. Blue Snowflake is arriving in June. Loving the high beat diver. Okay, there you go. Yes, any watch made since at least 2010 should have micro adjustments. Now, one thing I will say for this watch here is the clasp is very trim. It's very trim and flat to the wrist, but I think they could still do that and put micro adjustments in there. I really do. I think they could. The engineering could be such that they could pull it off. I think they could. They're not going to listen to me, though. They don't care what I say. I mean, they could give a rat's rear end about what Craig says about Grand Seiko. They could care a less. I've offered to give them some advice, and I'm still sitting by the phone waiting for them to call me back. Let's see if they call now. It's going to be crickets here. We're not going to hear a word from those guys at Grand Seiko. They could care less. Let's see here. Bitcoin pullback is normal since it has had a big move up. Right now, 7,500 is a base of support. Should go above 9,000 on this price move. We will see if the technical analysis is correct. Our WAG's in the house. So should I put a stop in? I think I've got one Bitcoin here on the exchange. Let me refresh this and see. Yeah, I've got one Bitcoin on the exchange. Should I put a sell order in and put a stop at 7,000, a 7,000 stop? What would you do? What would you do? Okay, this is just a discussion among friends. This is not financial advice. I've got one Bitcoin sitting here on the exchange, sitting there in the bank. I can put a stop loss in. Should I show the guys how we do that? I'll show the guys how we do that. Okay, here we go. This is how I do it. You put in a sell order, you make it a stop, and the price, you put 7,000, and I'm going to say max, so that's one Bitcoin. And the limit price, you make that a little bit lower, and there's a whole video explaining why you do that. Actually, what I'm doing, I'll put that 7,000, and I'll put the stop price at 7, 7,050. 7,050. Okay, and there's a reason why you do that, and I really don't have time to explain right now why, but I'm going to say place sell order. Oh, yeah, it's a stop, okay. Now make sure it's a stop, okay, so you don't accidentally sell it. Okay, place your order. Okay, so the way this works is, if Bitcoin gets down to $7,000, it will sell. It will sell, and the stop will be triggered at 7,050, and then when it hits 7, it'll execute, and most likely you will get the sale in. That's why you put the two numbers in there. You don't want to put them in the exact same because it might not trigger in time. Anyway, there's a whole video how-to on this that explains a little more in detail why you do it that way. So that's that way. Okay, so let's see. Let's see. Sorry, my mistake. I thought it was Spring Drive Diver, a blue dial snowflake. That sounds like a nice piece. There you go. At this rate, you will be able to buy a day-date by Christmas with 1 Bitcoin, Craig. Warren in the house. Yeah. We'll see. Greg Good in the house says, Craig, I've done that, rotated according to sizing and the weather, but I wanted to wear the watch for days and weeks at a time. I hear you, Greg. It's a workaround. It's not obviously not a good solution, not by any means a perfect solution. They really need, and here's the thing, everybody touts the glide lock on the sub, how great it is and all this. I think the clasp on those looks too long. I think it's real long looking. I don't like the looks of that either. And maybe they don't need to have as much travel. Maybe they only need to have about 3 small micro adjustments. Like if each micro adjustment was like 0.75 millimeter, like 3/4 of a millimeter. So you had a total of like maybe 2 millimeters worth of adjustment in the form of micro adjustments. That's really all you need, I think, because your wrist doesn't expand and contract a ton. Maybe 1/4 of an inch for most people. What do you guys think? Put in the chat, how much variance is there in your wrist, temperature-wise? You've got a hot, humid day on one side of the scale, and you've got a rather cool day, cold day, low humidity on the other side of the scale. What is the variance in your wrist, in the size of your wrist? Is it 1/4 of an inch? Is it a 1/2 inch? Put in the chat. Let me know what it is. We'll see what kind of micro adjustment we need. Let's see here. So Bitcoin Cash has nothing to do with Bitcoin. It has the same symbol next to it that Bitcoin uses. It's a scam. Yeah, they're trying to. Roger Ver is a scammer, and what he's doing is he's totally misleading people. He was an early Bitcoiner, and then he forked off of the Bitcoin main. See, it's open source software, so anybody can fork off of the Bitcoin main chain and form their own altcoin, an alternative coin, right? Anybody can do that. There's been a number of forks off of Bitcoin, and there's been a bunch of them just created out of thin air that aren't forks, right? And Roger Ver, who was an early Bitcoin adopter, has a lot of Bitcoin. He's become wealthy because of Bitcoin. He was pissed off at the core developers and that the way things were going with Bitcoin, and he didn't get his way, so he decided to fork off and create his own Bitcoin, okay? And he called it Bitcoin Cash. Most Bitcoiners call it Bcash. Some call it Btrash. And he also, what muddies the waters even more is he owns the URL bitcoin.com. Because he was an early adopter, he registered bitcoin.com. He also has at Bitcoin on Twitter. Okay? So he uses these platforms to try to promote his alternative Bitcoin as if it is Bitcoin. So he's really confusing people, and people do buy it, and they think they're getting Bitcoin. People are basically getting totally screwed and misled. And it's a shame, but it's the way it is. So, no, there's only one Bitcoin. BTC is the symbol. And the rest are all fake. Bitcoin Gold is fake. Bitcoin Silver is fake. What's the other one? There was another Bitcoin one. Anyway, there's a bunch of them. They're all scams. I wouldn't buy any of them. So there's that. Half inch variance, David Williams. Okay, half inch. Okay. How much travel does the glide lock have total? You have a glide lock PG. How much total travel does it have? How much adjustment does it give you? BTC and LTC, only coins in my opinion. Yeah, I would skip Litecoin as well. I don't think there's any reason to have Litecoin either. There's really no use case for it. You know, at first it was like they wanted it for like microtransactions and smaller transactions and all that. Now they're going to have the Lightning Network fully operational on Bitcoin. They'll get all the kinks out of it. And so you don't need it. Hold on one second. Let me see if this is a scammer. Hello, CraigShipp. Hello. Oh, absolutely. I want to bring you on the show. Can I do this? Can I put you on the speakerphone? Because I'm on a live broadcast right now, and we can talk about it briefly, and then we can make arrangements for you to be on the radio show Saturday morning. Give me 1 second, Sergeant. Turn my mic back on here and put you on the speaker. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I sure can.
Okay, so we've got Sergeant Push-Up in the house. This is super cool. So you just happened to call right in the middle of a live broadcast that we're doing. And could you real quickly, for the folks that are listening, introduce yourself, who you are, and talk about that event you're doing on it? You said it's on Saturday?
Yes, Saturday at 12:30.
Okay.
And 1:30.
Okay. And also give all your information where they can go on the web to learn more about you if they don't already know about Sergeant Push-Up.
Okay. So my name is Patrick Parker. I'm a decorated war veteran. Mm-hmm. And since I'm no longer in Iraq, which I've been out of the military for a while, my goal now is to make sure that every child in our nation, from New York to California, have a meal. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing 1 million push-ups for 1 million meals for children across America, and I also have a anti-bullying comic workbook called Sergeant Push-Up Comes to the Rescue. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I have lunch with children, and I give them a free anti-bullying workbook. But those books, which are the same books that we're going to be giving away Thursday at Adventure Park, Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
At Adventure Park, at 12:30 and 1:30. We're giving those books away. The children have to, in turn, do the work in the workbook, and they have to write me a letter on how they would end bullying.
Okay.
That's the orders from Sergeant Push-Up. So I can be found at SGT Pushup on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I'm just a war veteran that still want to serve the country, but this time I work for children from sea to shining sea.
Now, how many push-ups have you done as part of this program that you're doing, that you're involved in? You're going to do some push-ups at Adventure Park also, right?
I'll do a couple of push-ups at Adventure Park as well, but that one is just purely about bullying.
Okay.
So when I'm doing when I'm doing something for a food bank, I might do, the most I've ever done in a day is 5,000.
5,000? Wait. 5,000 push-ups?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In one day?
And in the middle of time, in one day. And for the New York City Food Bank, just so people can see that I could do push-ups, because I know sometimes people, you're not really doing that. I did 4,115 push-ups in the middle of Times Square, New York, from 9 o'clock in the morning till 6 at night. And that fed almost 8,000 meals.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes, sir.
Well, if I come down there to Adventure Park, though, you're going to at least have to do a few push-ups for me to do a video or something of you doing some push-ups.
Oh, no problem. I'll do that. That's no problem at all. I was at a location today, and a lady heard about me, and she just made me get down. You got to at least give me 25. I said, oh, my goodness. Okay, ma'am, I'll give you 25. So she just wanted me to do 25 for her, so I had to drop down and do 25 for her. But the whole idea is, one thing I want people to understand, it's not about the push-ups. I just don't do push-ups to do push-ups. Push-ups are to feed children. And my dream is to one day get 12 to 13 million push-ups in one day, which would equate to every child having a meal. Because we have between 12 and 13 million children tonight that will go to bed and they won't have anything to eat. And that is a no-go. And that's
this is just fantastic what you're doing. I'm a big supporter. I have heard about what you're doing from several sources, and this is fantastic that you're also involved with Adventure Park. So as far as the radio show goes, can you call me Saturday morning, and we will connect you to the radio show? Now I usually call in. I usually call in about 10:30 in the morning. His show's between 10 and 11 a.m. Can you call about 10:30 Saturday morning?
Yes, sir. Whatever you need me to do, I can give you a call. Actually, I will be at another event that day, so I'll be at another event because I have to do two events back to back.
Okay.
That day.
Okay.
So I'll probably be leaving that event to make sure that I've overbooked myself that day. I'm trying to help kids, and a lot of times I do that. So I will probably be driving from one location to the next to get to Adventure Park on time.
Okay, well, if you can call the radio shows from 10 in the morning until 11, and he usually takes another one or two calls before me, so the soonest you could probably call that we could get on the air would be 10:20 a.m. And then if it ends up being, you can call me at like 10:30 or whenever. But I'm gonna kill my mic because I want to give you my direct cell phone number, so you don't have to go through that menu system. Okay? So just give me 1 second. Let me kill this mic, and then I'll give it to you.
I am going to try to get there by 12:30, 11:45.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'll try to get. And then how late will you be there?
I have a 12:30 and I have a 1:30, so I'm going to at least be there until 2:30.
So you think you'll be there until 2:30? at Adventure Park.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
I'm going to
sir.
try to come by and shoot a video interview of you and everything so that we can get it up on our channel and get it up on our Facebook and try to get the word out a little more about what you're doing.
Well, I greatly appreciate you, and that's why in order to get this campaign out, it takes great citizens and great Americans like yourself. So I greatly appreciate you, and you're the reason why when we're in that desert and got fleas and all on us and we're fighting for the red, white, and blue, it's because of citizens like you and allowing me to use your platform to help children from sea to shining sea, and I greatly appreciate that.
Well, there we go. Well, I appreciate it. Sergeant Push-Up in the house. Well, thank you very much for calling, and hopefully I will see you on Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Carry on.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
There you go, Sergeant Push-Up in the house. I hope you guys could hear some of that. I don't know how much you could hear. I was trying to get it close to the the mic. Let's see here. Let me get caught up on the comments here. My wrist varies about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch according to humidity, diet, exercise. There you go. Thank you, Craig, for explaining. Okay, because we got that. Indy is rocking. Okay. Rags, that is why I am joining late. Okay. Unfortunately, Fernando had technical problems this afternoon. Okay. I am based in the UK. Okay. Carlos, sorry to hear that will get resolved soon. Wait, what's going on with Carlos? I didn't catch that. Anyway, bring me up to speed on the Carlos. Carlos, what's going on? Okay. Joining late. Wags, unfortunately, Fernando had technical... Okay. I'm based in UK. Okay, good to meet... Okay. Carlos, sorry to hear. It'll get resolved soon. Okay. Yorkshire. Okay, this is little conversations going on here. Okay. Just trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. You three are located relatively nearby each other. York is lovely. Okay. Warren Snook, small world, Thomas. I can feel a meetup with beers on the horizon. The Midlands isn't too far away. I'm in Fulford, Warren. Okay, time. Let's do a time check. Little time check there. It's after the hour. We've been going for an hour. Of course, Sergeant Push-Up called in the middle of the show, and good to be able to support his efforts to feed kids that aren't as fortunate as some of us. We're buying expensive watches, and some of these kids don't have a meal at night. So we're going to help out with that. Let's see what else we got here. All right, Dan in the house, long-time subscriber, first-time poster. Craig, you inspired me to buy a pre-owned Tudor. No, please. Please tell me you didn't buy a Tudor. Pre-owned Tudor on a leather strap, and I'm very pleased with my purchase. Thanks for all your watch advice. I don't think I advised you to buy a Tudor, but at least if you bought it pre-owned, maybe you got a deal. I'd probably sell the Tudor and get a Grand Seiko. It's probably the move. Warren in the house. Let's see here. How is the precision check on your GS so far? Do you mean accuracy? The 9F? I mean, it's spot on, as is expected. And, of course, my spring drive is insanely accurate, too. Both of my GSs are insanely accurate. And Thomas, wow, it's a small world. Okay, there you go. Let me know in the chat if you guys could hear Sergeant Push-Up. I don't know if you could hear him or not. I'm just curious as to whether or not you could hear him. I'm reloading the chat here just to make sure I haven't missed anything. Let's see here. The Tudor Black Bay 58 is nice, though. Yes, I mean that. Okay. So I'll wait and see what you guys say. And is Is Wags still in the house? Because I want to see what he says about my my stop loss. Let's see here. We could do a double act live stream with Craig Thomas. There you go. Yes, I did hear him. Andrew in the house says he could hear him. Okay, good, good. Yes, we could hear the Sarge. R. Wags says we could hear the Sarge. Okay. So what do you think about the stop loss that I placed? Here, let me show again. There it is. It's placed at $7,000. Got a stop loss in there. And what do you think? What do you think about that, R. Wags? That's the question. And I'm wearing my linen, this is a Kenneth Gordon Heirloom Collection shirt. Very comfortable linen shirt. I like shirts with plenty of material in them. None of this trim fit crap, I like to be able to move and be comfortable. So that's the way that is. Have you heard of the issue of Clive with the trolls? Carlos, fill us in. Fill us in. We heard some rumors, but I haven't heard the first-hand skinny. Maybe you guys can get him to come in. Should I see if I can get him to come in on the show? Let me try to call him. I'm going to try to call the Clivester. Stand by. I'm going to try to call the Clivester. I'm going to try to call the Clivester. See if he even answers the phone. It's after work hours. I should be able to call him. See if he'll answer the phone.
This Clive.
Hey, Clive, Craig Shipp.
Oh, hey, Craig. How you doing?
Hey, good. Can you come on my show?
I'm just going to take a break from YouTube for a little bit. I'm just really burned out.
Okay. Well, no, you're always welcome on my show.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Well, I just.
The whole troll thing. The whole troll thing is just,
Well, yeah, it's a no. It's a,
so much.
you know.
She lets people get away so much that all the trolls. It's like someone let their property go to swamp,
Mm-hmm.
and all the snakes are coming. All the snakes and alligators are coming out of the swamp and going to everyone else's yard.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why we don't allow them at all on my channel. So, yeah, I mean,
Looking for the happy medium. I've been looking for the happy medium and not finding it.
yeah, and it's a shame because a lot of the guys like your shows and they like your channel. So, the only thing I would say is, and I'm in the middle of actually doing a stream now, but I just wanted to see if you could come on. But the only thing I would say is they miss you and they want you, and I wouldn't let the trolls ruin that. I'd just block the freaking trolls, turn the wrench gang loose on them, and take any wrenches away from them, the trolls that have them, and that's the way I do handle it, and we have a good time over here. I mean, we don't have as many viewers. I mean, I've got 40 or 50 viewers, but yeah, but they miss you though. I mean, that's the only thing I wanted to convey to you is that a lot of people in the chat on my show are asking about you, and they do miss you already. So
I just need to put my hands up and take a break.
okay.
By the way, selling off 2 more Rolex.
Okay. Well, if you want to come on the channel and talk about it, you're always welcome.
Craig, that was very kind of you. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I just need to get the fuck off for a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, do what you think is right. You always got a home here.
Thank you, Craig.
All right. Take care, Clive.
Good to say.
Bye. Well, there you go. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but yeah, I mean, that's from the horse's mouth. He's going to take some time off. And it's so sad because I have seen this happen so many times with people that are talented, that are on YouTube, that are doing shows. I mean, Audrey, my good friend, that the hoop dancer that is absolutely stunning, gorgeous, and a wonderful personality. She's been just attacked relentlessly by the trolls, and she's totally off the air now. Of course, Sarah was trying to get her show going, Cowgirls Live show going, which would have been a really fun show if she kept doing it and kept learning about how to do it and got some guests and really got it going. It would have been fantastic, but she wasn't treated very well. It's very sad that the trolls do this, but that's what they do. That's all they do. So, okay. All right, enough negative, trollish stuff. Let's move on to more positive things here. Let's see what we've got here. You passed up my comment about the stop loss. Oh, okay, I got to go back, and I don't know where it was. Can you put your comment back in about the stop loss? Because I didn't see it, and I'm trying to catch up here. Have you heard? Okay. No more tutor for me. This one guy says he'll pass on the tutor. No idea, really just saw a bit. Okay. The new suits like Jethro on the bill. Yeah, these guys with the real short, like, suit jackets and stuff that are, they're often too tight, too. They look like they're like 4 sizes too small. Yeah, it's insane. I don't get it. Let's see. Yes, but after 2 times a bad one, I'm finished with tutor for now. I have GS and Zenith. Yeah, go for the good stuff. Probably had a lemon. Yeah, I'd pass on the tutors. I do have a BB Steel and have owned it a year. So far, so good. I know a few more guys with problems with new tutor. We do miss Clive already. Thomas in the house. There you go. Which tutor model do you have? Okay. Quality control department of tutor sucks. Uh-oh. We never liked tutors back in the day. I mean, I'm going back to the 70s now. We never thought much of the tutors. Very sad. Clive is a tough guy, and they even got to him. Well, they don't. This is a no-fly zone for them here, so they're not going to get in here and mess with anybody. It was great you calling and supporting Clyde. Well, he's a good guy. I mean, and yeah, I don't know that he exactly treated me the way I would have liked to have been treated, but you know, it says you treat others the way you would like to be treated, not the way they treat you, the way you would like to be treated. That's what you do. Because he did side with the trolls when there was that thing going on between me and the trolls. He sided with the trolls, but there's that. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. All right, so let's see what else we got here, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. We've been going over an hour, folks. I suspect Clyde's channel is interfering with his career. That's possible because he started spending a lot of time doing broadcasts. And also spending a lot of money on watches. He said he's selling a couple of other Rolexes. He should sell those Rolexes while he can. Sell them while the market's relatively hot. I'd sell all that inventory and get it down to 1 or 2 good watches. That's what I'd recommend doing. Very sad, Clive is okay, I already read that. Hi, Clive. Newest viewer from the UK, loving the content. Okay, well, this isn't Clive. I'm Craig, but anyway, if you're talking about this content, thank you. Speaking of content, let's take a look at a time check here real quick. If you sell it at 7,500, I believe you will regret it. The hype will start soon, and the money channels and buying frenzy will begin. Nobody wants the Bitcoin ship to leave the port without them. R Wags. But here's the thing. I've got the stop loss in at 7,000. Do you think it's going to go down to 7,000 and hit that price and sell? That's the question. I'm not selling it at 7,500. I don't have a sell order in. But the question is it going to dip down to 7,000 before it goes up? That's the big question here. Okay, so let's see what R. Wags has to say about that. Craig, what will be your next GS purchase? That is a big question. They'd have to come out with something incredible to beat the 2 watches I have now. This one that's on the screen now is pretty epic. And then this one that's on my wrist for a heavy use sport watch, this titanium spring drive diver, it would be very hard to beat. So I don't know what they're going to do. If they came out with a version of this that was like 12 mils thick, and maybe 42 mils instead of 44, shave a little bit of size off it, make it 42 mils and 12 mils thick, and make the clasp a little more trim to the wrist. If they did some major upgrades like that, I would consider it, but I doubt they're going to do all that. What's the news about Clive? Is he okay? He's okay. He's taken some time off. He blamed it on the trolls. That's what he did. He blamed it on the trolls. He didn't say anything about it being work-related or anything else. He's basically blaming it on the trolls, so I don't know. Sorry, Craig, senior moment? No worries. Hey, I know about senior moments. I'm a senior guy, too. Clive's taking a break. Let's see. Hello, buddy. ID guy. Craig just phoned Clive, and he said that he was taking a break for a while. There you go. What do you think about the Seiko Prospect LX? I think most of them are probably pretty good. I don't have any first-hand knowledge. The only kind of Prospect watch that I had was the SBDC 007, the Shogun, and I loved that watch. It ran slow. Was the only reason why I got rid of it. It ran slow. So, R. Wags, let me know what you would do about the stop loss. Would you put the stop loss lower than that? Do you think I'm in danger of it getting triggered on a dip and missing out on some more upside? Or do you think 7,000 is a good, safe place to leave that stop loss? See, the only reason I've got it in here with a stop loss on it is here's the thought process on this. Okay. It's a long-term capital gain if I sell it. All right? So, if I sell that for 7,000, and if it's on a dip, if it goes down 40%, let's say it goes down 40%, right? And I buy the Bitcoin back, 40% less money. I'm still going to come out ahead even after paying the long-term capital gain. I'm not going to come out a ton ahead, but I'm going to come out ahead. So I end up with more Bitcoin, basically. So, and this is just my mad money Bitcoin. This isn't my Bitcoin that I have in my long-term lockbox storage in my hardware wallet. Okay, that's safe and sound. This is my mad money Bitcoin here. I've always got a couple of Bitcoin that I just play around with, kind of mad money type stuff. So, what do you think about that? Let's see if R. Wags is still in the house. See if he says anything about that. Seiko Prospex LX looks like great watch, but the price is too close to a GS. I hear you. I think I would go with a GS. This GS is a stunner. SBGA 387. Let's see if we can find a 387 on Chrono 24. So they're saying that's a 387. And that one's coming with a strap and a bracelet. That's pretty cool that he's got both. Oh, he's got another extra strap. Well, there you go, folks. That's pretty stunning. Pretty stunning. I hope that has a screw-down crown. I'm guessing it does. Okay. What else do we have here? Craig, you're a gentleman with class. A pleasure following you. Ernie in the house. Well, there you go. Audio is scratchy. So the audio's gotten bad again. Testing 1 2. It sounds good locally. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2. Sounds good locally. I wonder if it's a YouTube thing. Let me refresh this browser here. We're going to wrap up here pretty soon anyway, but I'm just curious at this point. Testing 1 2, testing 1 2. We're testing 1 2 3.
1 2. It sounds good locally. Testing 1 2 1 2. Testing 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, I think that's some YouTube artifacts. I don't think that's yeah, background noise here. Yeah, there's some noise from the fan, a little bit more noise than normal from the fan. This thing's getting hot, I think. I think my switcher's heating up, folks. Let's see. But good enough, says Carlos in the house. Yeah, that is the one thing about this switcher, my Roland switcher, that you can't really see. It's in right below the camera shot. Well, we can turn on this camera. Let's see. See if I can point this up. Ah, it's too tight. Yeah, there we go. Focus this in a little bit. Okay, so the switcher. Okay, so the switcher right here, you hear the fan coming out the front here, the fan noise. And that's the only real issue with this setup. Typically, you're not supposed to point this up a little bit more. That might help a little bit. Typically, you're not supposed to have me doing the switching. You should have somebody over yonder away from the talent. Imagine that. Doing the switching, right? So that's off somewhere else, and so it's not interfering with the audio. That's the theory here. The audio has had a staticky hiss intermittently throughout the live stream. Who else is proud of Archie's 5296? It's actually the plaintiff. Okay. No, Craig. Here's my 2 cents worth. I wouldn't sell at $7,000 with the current price move. It probably won't get that low anyway in the near future. I believe there's more upside coming. So are you saying that you would not put a stop loss in at all? You would just, if it goes down, you just ride it all the way down and then ride it back up. You just ride it on out. Hey, Mr. Ship, would you go for Coke or Pepsi Steinhardt GMT? I had a Steinhardt GMT. There's a video here on my channel of it. I think it's a very good value. It's a lot of watch for the money. And as far as I know, they still are. They're still a pretty good value. So I think it's a good watch for the money. Absolutely. I think either way, you can't go wrong with the Coke or the Pepsi. I believe mine was a Coke. It was some years ago, but check on my channel. I got a video on it. I think it was the Coke. I kind of like the Coke better than the Pepsi, personally, but either way, I don't think you can go wrong. At least I would put a stop loss close to your last purchasing price. So lower the stop loss down. See, the theory behind the 7,000 is if we're going to get a pretty steep dip, I would like to, liquidate before that. I'd like to liquidate, before it takes all the dip. If I put the stop loss in at 5, by the time it gets down there and hits that, we may have already had the whole dip. I'm going to lose out. I think 7's a good number. I think it's either going to keep going up from here with some small dips, right? Or it's going to take a big dip, like 40% is what I'm looking for, right? In which case, I'll be glad I had the stop loss in there. So that's my theory here. Let's see here. I just wouldn't have gone for one with a ding in the lug. Otherwise, it's a great watch. I looked at the video he did showing it. I didn't think the ding was that bad, personally. I would wear the watch. I just wouldn't have gotten white gold, period. I would have gotten a yellow gold watch. I don't get buying a white gold Patek. I mean, I just don't get the... for me, there'd be no reason to. I like the 5296, but wouldn't buy one unless it was mint. And the other thing is, I don't particularly like the lugs on that watch. I think there are other Calatravas that have much more attractive lugs. I think they're better moves to go for, personally. And I would buy one without the date as well. But that's just me. I mean, it's a good-looking watch, don't get me wrong, and you get it in yellow, it's a good-looking watch, but there are a few that I would pick over that one, that's all I'm saying. Yes, no stop loss. More money profits have been lost with a stop loss. If you got something good, let it run. Don't kill the racehorse that's winning the race. Well, there you go, our wag's in the house. Okay, we'll do this live. Watch this. We'll do this live. Live. Here we go. See the stop loss I got in there at 7,000? Right there, 1 BTC. I'm going to hit the little X here. Bam. Okay, so now it is canceled out. All right, and let me get back here. Let me refresh. Okay, and I've got 1 Bitcoin up here in inventory and no stop loss. And we're at 79.25 as we speak. 79.25 on the Bitcoin. Let's see here. My aspiration one day is to walk into a Patek Philippe and buy a 5196R with cash and walk out with the piece. Well, if you do cash in this country, they're going to probably grab you and lock you up with all the regulations. All right, let me do a 5196R. That would be rose gold. Let's see here. Pull this puppy up. And then we're going to wrap this little conversation up. Let's get this thing loaded in here. It's taking its sweet time. This is only one picture. I hate that, and it's a lousy picture. I'm already showing it. Okay, so let's go back and see if we can get a decent picture of this watch. Why would people do this? Why would they put a lousy picture for a watch they're trying to sell for 20 grand? See if we can find a halfway decent image. Oh, does the 5196 sit? Oh, so it's got the small second hand. Again, it's one of these pictures that looks like a freaking drawing. I mean, what the hell? Jeez. These people. Can't they take a picture of a watch, for gosh sakes? This one looks like an actual photograph. Yeah, at least that looks a little bit like a photograph. It's touched up. But, yeah, I think that's a nice watch. That would work for me. It looks like it's got nice lugs. Yeah, that's a nice piece. Yeah. But I would get it in regular gold. I wouldn't get rose gold. Heck no, I wouldn't get rose gold. Not on a bet would I get rose gold. Okay, that's it. You know, some of these, you see, like that, this is a 5196R. See the side view? See, I don't like the look of that case from the side view. No, I don't like it's very so-so from the side. I'd have to see some of these watches again close and really study this a little bit before I would decide which one that I would get. I don't think that would be it. So I'm just saying. Okay, let's catch up on the chat, and then we're going to wrap this puppy up. Let's see, my experience from one day. Okay. You know my opinion about BTC. I think it's a great idea to get as much as you can for it. In other words, sell it. Sell it all, Carlos says. Sell it all. Hey, people have been telling me that for years. I remember when it hit $1,000, when it first hit $1,000, and I did sell a little bit when it hit $1,000. But everybody was telling me, my God, yeah, sell that stuff, you know, get out, it's $1,000. And back in 2017, I sold some at 15,000. Before it got to the high of 20, I sold some at 15. I sold some at 10 also on the way up. And again, everybody's saying, "Oh no, sell it all, sell it all, sell it all." And you know, over the years, they've all been saying, "Sell it all, sell it all." And I'm glad I still have a good amount. I'm glad I didn't sell it all, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell the whole tale here. But no, I wouldn't want to be without any Bitcoin. That would not be a good position to be in, I don't think. I think everybody should have some Bitcoin, assuming they have no debt and they can afford it. They should have some Bitcoin. Let's see. Good night, all, Andrew says. Okay. Warren says, great show. Okay. Patek looks awful thin. I like a little more bulk, R-Wags. Yeah, I think your date 8 is kind of the perfect size. I mean, it's hard to beat a date 8. A 36 mil date 8. You've been spoiled with that watch. I'd be tempted by a Patek 5205, but would have to liquidate most of my collection. Warren in the house. Well, there you go. Liquidate. It's always good to sell watches and pare down to one or two nice ones. That's a good idea. It's like 7.6 millimeters thin. That's the idea. There you go. Well, you know, it is hard to have a watch that's too thin, but you can still have a really good shape to the lugs and everything. Like the GS stunner that I had, the 18 karat gold stunner. The case was beautiful on that, and the lugs, the shape of the lugs, everything was just spot on the way it should be. And it was 10 mils thick, which is fine. That's thin enough. 10 mils is fine. I don't really need it to be 8 or 7. I mean, 10 is fine. Okay. All right, we're going to wrap this puppy up. That's what we're going to do. It was an emergency show, and we got a lot done. So this was a successful show. This was an emergency intervention show. And there is, again, the stunner, the absolute stunner with the 9F movement. And that second hand is perfectly aligned. Again, as it goes around, the camera angle changes, and so it may look like it's not hitting the markers sometimes, but that's just because of the camera angles. It gets to different positions on the dial. But it is hitting it. Thanks, Craig. I think the fact that Clive took your call shows his respect for your show and opinion. We all wish him well. Well, there you go. Hey, Craig, Orient seems to have better lookers than that Patek. Gilbert in the house. Okay. Thanks for the show. ID Guy puts out some great videos, folks. Don't miss them. Go to his channel. Click on the bell. Click on the bell. Oh, here's Carlos sent me the photo. Let's wrap up with this photo here. This looks pretty good on wrist. That looks pretty good. Pretty good on wrist. I'm impressed. Call me impressed. It looks good on wrist. And that's really what matters, is how it looks on wrist. Carlos, bye all. Thank you. All right. Let me see if I can wrap this puppy up. Got to get into the app here first before I can do that. Hey, remember, click subscribe and click the little bell. The little bell, so that you'll get notifications. And sometimes the bell comes unclicked, so you got to check it from time to time and make sure it's selected. Thanks again for your time, Craig and everyone. It was great to hear that Clive as well. There you go. All right, and remember, Greg Good has joined the Wrench Gang. Congratulate Greg for being in the house. Okay, here we go. Wrap this puppy up.